Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Now, I'm not a particularly needy guy, but today I could do with your reassurance. I'm a little bit worried about this one. This purchase that I'm about to tell you about, I might have got a bit wrong. Let me explain then. I bought a late 2016 Audi Q7. It's done 78,000 miles, it's white, it's S-Line, it looks alright. I haven't seen it in person yet, but I've seen photographs, and it does look quite smart. But here's the issue. The previous owner, the lady who's bought a brand new car at the local main dealer where I bought this Q7 as a part exchange, she's lost the service history. She said she's moved house recently and just can't find it. And that means I've got quite an expensive car here that I'm going to be asking 20-odd thousand pounds retail for with no service history. And it does concern me a little, I'll be honest. Because of this, I have managed to negotiate the price down a little bit. They wanted £19,000 for it, that's what its cap price was, that's what its book price was, but I paid just £18,000 for it. So it is a little bit cheaper. What I've got to do now is try and find the service history, but if I can't locate it, then what I've got to do is try and do all the jobs that it might be due and bring it up to date. I don't want to sound like a typical car dealer now, but in my opinion, the most important part of a car's history is the most recent service. So I'm thinking if I can do a full engine service, gearbox service, transfer box, brake fluid, diff, you know, just do the whole lot and bring it all up to scratch. Basically, just go over this car with a fine-tooth comb. That, I think, is the best I can do with this car. Then at least when it comes to advertise it, I can say, look, the previous owner's lost the history, but look at this, I've just spent £3,000 on it, on a set of brand new tyres and all that sort of stuff. Would that satisfy you? It probably would to me, to be honest. I don't know. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Right, I've just been to the garage and got the keys. It's on the car park, so here we go. There it is then. I quite like this era of Q7. This is like the Mark II, I guess. The first one came out in like 06, and I think this one started in 16. Yeah, 16, because I've had a 2015. This was a big improvement. I was never really a big fan of that first generation. But that looks all right. So, lack of history then. We need to check tyres, don't we? See if this has been maintained well. We've got that's a Bridgestone, isn't it, I think? Bridgestone. On plenty of tread, that's a good sign. We've got the running boards, which I'm not a big fan of, but I may as well leave them on. Bodywork looks okay, looks quite tidy. Down here we've got a land sail. That's not what I like to see, but it is on about 5 or 6 mil of tread. Brake discs look okay as well, as do the wheels. That's all fine. So we've got a Bridgestone on this side at the front, land sail at the back. I think I've got to put my detective hat on here, really. I need to start looking at these clues. So we've got the number plate, say Craven Garage. Might give them a call and see if they've ever looked after it and see if they can do me copies of the bills. Up front then we should have another matching Bridgestone, and we don't. This one's a Hankook. Right, that's disappointing then. We need a matching Bridgestone there, because this one's only on about 2 mil of tread, 2.5 mil, 3 mil. So we'll get a matching Bridgestone that side. And we've got a matching land sail here on the back, which is, it's quite a new tyre that. There's loads of tread left on it. They're just not the best brand, are they? Might buy 3 new Bridgestones for it and try and match that front one. We've got both keys anyway, which is a good sign. I don't doubt it's been maintained, it's difficult for me to prove, isn't it? Let's have a look inside then. Doors are always huge on a Q7, aren't they? Look at that one. So inside's quite clean. We've got the lines in the mats where it's been valeted. Smells a bit doggy though. They've had a hound in the back. We've got the parcel shelf there. 7-seat, obviously. That's the Q7 name. The seats fold up and down electronically as well, like my Range Rover. Which looks like a good feature, but it's actually a bit of a faff. Rather, they were just manual. The amount of times I've been at IKEA with my Range Rover and I can't get them to fold flat for some reason. It's infuriating. So, what have we got then in terms of spec? We haven't got an awful lot, have we? We've only got part leather interior, part cloth, or Alcantara, whatever it is. It's in decent condition though. But yeah, previous owner's left half the dog behind, and you can smell it. So I need to let off one of those Air Vidox odor bomb things. But yeah, just not a shred of history. I know from 2012 onwards, Audi have a digital print-off, so this might not be the end of the world. I think I need to speak to Audi as well and see if there's any history. There must be some early history with them. We've got some here. So this was... It's been to Audi at 70,000 miles. They carried out an aircon service and replaced the brake pads. Oh, they did an oil change at 70. So there's a little bit of history then. They replaced the offside front tyre at 77. Bear in mind this is done 78, I was told. And they replaced some suspension arms. I wonder if that's Audi Stockport. £1,800 bill there, wow. I think this has been maintained then. They've just lost it. I think my first stop then really is Audi. See if they'll print off the service history. We've got another bill here. Replaced 2 tyres. Hankooks. That was done at 51. Right. There is something there then. There's something to go off, isn't there? I was just about to show you under the bonnet, but it'll all be covered in plastic. You won't see anything anyway, will you? Let's have a look, see what we can see. And just as I suspected, this 252 horsepower diesel, whatever it is, turbo diesel V6, is just covered in plastic. I was hoping to see some sort of stickers or something. But if it's been to Audi recently for £1,800 worth of work, I suspect it's been to Audi its whole life. That's what you'd suspect, isn't it, really? I think we'll go with that story. I think that will be my first phone call, Audi Stockport, and see if they can print off the service history. I've had this before with Audi Macclesfield, and they've always obliged. Oh no, what we could do actually, if I check this car out on Car Vertical, this might tell me a bit about the history. Sometimes it does. Let's try that. Right, as always then, you just go to carvertical.com, type in the reg, which is Sierra Bravo 66 Echo Whiskey Oscar, check vehicle. By the way, if you want to do one of these reports for yourself, and I urge you to do so before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike, use my promo code HIGHPEAK and you'll get 20% off each and every check that you do. Alternatively, click the link below in the video description. And this isn't just a UK thing either, this checks databases in 35 countries, and it checks hundreds of millions of cars. This will tell us all the MOT history, it'll tell us ownership change, all that sort of stuff. But sometimes it shows you photographs if it's been for sale somewhere else. And also, if it's ever been involved in an accident, this should tell us. There we go. Done. Let's see then. So it's never been clocked, no outstanding finance, and no recorded damage. That's all good. It's a 2016 diesel Q7. Never been stolen. We're all clear. The last MOT in September last year, it done 70,000 miles. And then the previous year, 22, it done 55. No damage. Tax band G. So it's a 2017 model year, diesel automatic, 8-speed auto. Ownership change in 2019. And it had a previous plate. So it doesn't tell us anything about the history there, which is disappointing. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. At least we know it's clear now. I suppose then really we need to drive this and see how it performs. My guess is quite well. It's quite a modern car, isn't it? I'll be able to tell whether it's been serviced or not, I think. Whether it's loose or sloppy or, hesitant or spluttery. Let's go and have a look. Right then, first time in the Q7. It should drive nicely, this. Wait for my glow plugs. Start an engine, right. One warning light. Please add washer fluid. We can soon fix that, can't we? I think even my mediocre mechanic skills can sort that problem. There's dog hair everywhere. It's rank. Anyway, I'm a dog lover. I just don't like anyone else's. So it's got one of those funny gear selectors like an A8. Select drive, and we're on. What sort of spec is this? Has it got a rear camera? No. They're really tight, aren't they, Audi? Really mean with spec. Got heated seats though, whack those on. So it's done 78,000 miles and 54. Got plenty of diesel in it. It's quite nice this, Quite like it. I can hear my rear climates on. There's just dog hair everywhere. Valleters are going to love me, aren't they? Well, what do you think then? Would you be worried about having £18,000 in this car? Now that I've seen that recent bill 1,000 miles ago at Audi, I feel tons better. Can't believe they didn't tell me that, to be honest. Why didn't they look? They just must have taken her word for it. So I think I'm going to call Audi Stockport and see if there's any history. Hopefully they'll be able to access like the online system, not just for them, but for Audi UK. Because if the previous owner bought this in 19, there should be some early history as well. It's on an S plate, so it's come from Scotland, so there should be some Scottish history as well. But it drives all right. I need 3 tyres, I need 3 Bridgestones or something, try and make them all nice and matching and decent quality, because I'm going to have to ask 22 or 3 grand for this car, so it needs to be nice and right. The tracking's off, it's pulling to the right. Sort that out, no problem. Then I suppose I could do with booking this in either with Audi, but there might be a long wait time, or with a VW specialist, I say VW, a VAG specialist. Now there's one in Stockport that's a new place actually that I used. They did a Haldex service for me on a Skoda Yeti. I think they were called something like VAG Manchester, I think, over in Reddish. They were very good, so I might book it in with them and just have them do the whole lot. Brake fluid service, gearbox service, the whole 9 yards. But so far, oh, flies. Does drive very well, this. Pulls like a train. Any more cliches? Would you like any more cliches while I'm at it? It's a nice place to be, this. Right, what else can I tell you? We've got sat-nav. Radio, what have they been listening to? Heart Dance. Right. We haven't got the full virtual cockpit, which would have been nice, but we do have the centre section there with my maps, which is quite a nice feature. This is all right though, you know. I feel much happy with this now I've driven it and seen a bit of history. I think first, you might think this is a bit of a waste of money, but I might drop it off for a quick mini valet, get them to give it a good clean and wash, see how it scrubs up, and get the vacuum on all those dog hairs. I think I'll do that. Then, while it's there, I think I shall call Audi Stockport. In fact, I've got a decent rapport now with the service advisor at Audi Macclesfield, so I might call them instead. I might do that. I took my A8 there recently for a service, and yeah, it was a reasonably good service in the end. How much of a result would this be if they email over the full service record? I suppose you make your own luck, don't you? Because I've taken the risk of buying this car when I didn't know. But I suspect it does have full history. We shall see. Keep my fingers crossed. Right then, well, first stop, I think car wash. Get rid of all these hound hairs. I'm not going to, but if I were to sell my Range Rover and buy something like this, I'd save quite a lot on fuel, wouldn't I? This will do 30 odd miles per gallon, whereas my Range Rover does 20. In fact, shall we look? I've got 85 miles remaining in the tank. My long-term memory says 30 mpg. What am I going to spend on this then? I could easily spend £1,500 on this because the big wheels, big tyres, nothing's cheap. But anyway, I've got the car at the right price now, so I should be all right. And if I can get 22, 23 grand for it, there should still be 2.5 grand profit, hopefully. We'll see. Right, I'll catch up with you later on then, hopefully with some good news. Wish me luck. And we're back in my cheap Audi Q7, and I've had something of a result. Remember how I bought this knowing that the service history had been lost by the previous owner? The previous owner had moved house and misplaced it. And that was a bit of a gamble on my part, because on such a valuable car like this, I knew that the lack of service history would not only affect its value, but also affect my chances of selling it. Well, I got lucky really. One quick phone call to Audi, and I got emailed over all the service history. Now it isn't full, but it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. As a result, I'm feeling much more confident about this car. It should sell without another obstacle to overcome. After we last spoke, I took this down to my mechanic for a set of tyres. Actually, that's not true. It didn't have a full set. There was one Bridgestone which was new, so I asked for 3 brand new Bridgestones to match. So it's now got a set of 4 brand new Bridgestones. They were quite expensive. This has got big wheels, but on a car of this value, I think it's crucial that it's got decent tyres. Whilst it was down there, I also asked for a service and a clean MOT with no advisory items, which it's now got. So my bill there was just over £1,000. Anyway, it's done now, can't dwell on that. There should still be a fair margin in this. From there I picked it up and took it over to Hyde, to Tameside Detailing for a full valet. I also asked them to let off one of those odour bombs because it smelt a bit doggy. The fragrance before was a little bit odour hound. Anyway, now it's nice and neutral. It's come up really well, actually. I mean, it wasn't particularly dirty before, but there were loads of little dog hairs everywhere from a little terrier of some sort, and now it's all clean, ready to go. So I got it back to work and photographed it, and I've got it advertised for £22,995, which Auto Trader tells me is the market value. I did some research as well, and that does seem like quite a fair price. Now I'm hoping that there's still a 10 to 15% profit margin in it for me. I think there will be. Apart from the tyres, there wasn't a huge spend on this one. And like I said, the fact that this has now got decent Audi service history, it will make it a bit more, well, a bit more saleable. So shall we park up somewhere scenic? Oh, I know, perhaps next to my new bin. And I'll talk you through my costs, and let's see if there's any profit in this. I haven't actually sold it yet, but I can't imagine it'll take that long to sell. Quite a desirable car, really. It's the sort of thing that if I didn't have my Range Rover and I was looking for a car and this came along, I'd be quite happy running around in it. It certainly feels sporty than my big wafty Range Rover anyway. Well, there's my new bin, and there's no parking. We'll have to improvise then, won't we? Here we'll do then. Don't want to damage my new tyres. And park. So, let me get my calculator out. I paid £18,000 for the car. The bill at my mechanics. In fact, let me talk you through the service history then. So, there was a service at 15,000 miles, 32,000 miles, 66,000 miles. That was all Audi. Then it had another service at 77,000 miles, an aircon service at 75, a brake fluid change. There's another receipt here as well from another garage. Had some more work done at 70 at Audi. It's kind of as I predicted, really. Had some tyres at 52. I think we knew about that though, didn't we? And then, of course, the work that I've had done was 3 Bridgestone tyres, a service, and a clean MOT. So my total there was £1,106.77. That takes my subtotal to 19,106. What else did we spend? What else did we spend? That was it, wasn't it? Just the valet, I think. So we'll add another £70 to that. That takes my total to £19,176.77. So if I can get about 22 grand for this, then it leaves me just shy of £3,000 profit. That's before tax and before VAT. Which is about 15% profit, isn't it? Which was the target all along. That's right, isn't it? About 19,1, 15% of that, 28, isn't it? 2,800. Quite impressed with my mental arithmetic skills there. So I think that's about it. All in all, I have been quite lucky with this. Might go and buy myself a lottery ticket. I'm not always this lucky. Anyway, right, well, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time. Adios.